I can't see myself on the thing. Hello and welcome to FPL Happy Hour, episode 5. Episode 6 of season 3. And we're live with myself, Sham, otherwise known as FPL 2 Guys 1 Cup on Twitter.
And myself, Rob, otherwise known as FPL Panda.
So look, now I can see myself on the thing.
Yeah, it's because you're watching yourself on YouTube. Just watch
Oh
yourself
yeah,
on.
what a dickhead.
You
Yeah,
fucking idiot. You got like a
yeah.
20-second delay, mate.
Oh shit. Sorry guys.
We
We'll
haven't
have to
been
edit
we
that
haven't
bit
been
out.
live. It's not like we weren't like live for half of the summer, and
No,
then
that's
we
true.
come back, and now you've forgotten because we've done.
I've had a very long day. I've had a very long
Yes,
day.
you have, mate. It's
Yeah.
understandable, but
Yeah, for
we,
those that don't know, my daughter was in A&E. She broke her arm today in the playground, and it was fucking horrendous. Her arm is like a speed bump, or was like a speed bump. So yeah. Yeah. But yeah, she's all right now. She's all right. She's in a cast. Anyway, how are you, Rob?
yeah, it's like the busiest week of the year for me, so I'm absolutely knackered. I can't wait till next week because I've still got
It's
loads to do
yeah,
over the weekend.
it's
Um,
FPL Eve, isn't it?
yeah, FPL Eve. This time tomorrow, we'll all be disappointed again and waiting for something else. Yeah, so yeah, this week I think between me and James Alapra, I think we distributed around 2,500 to 3,000 of the planners for Scout. Plus, I've
Yeah.
distributed about 240, 30 odd of my own planners. And then sorting out mini leagues, competitions. Yeah, it's been crazy. Couple of days, and there's still a few more days of craziness to go. But
Yeah.
I've even managed to get my draft almost ready, so that's why I put in the description almost, because there's still a long time to go in the world of fantasy football.
It is
24
indeed.
hours.
So, for tonight's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the drafts that we're up to so far, what the kind of twos and fro's are. I'm pretty much locked in with one change. Don't know about you, Rob. Maybe you've got a couple places that you're unsure of, or you'll probably be locked because I'm normally the one that's
I've got
unsure.
one or two spots that I'm in R-ing still, but I think I'm pretty much there.
So we'll do that. We've got a new feature for our weekly episode. So we used to do a 5v5 feature. This season, what we thought we'd do is we thought we'd do a free hit draft per week. And we're going to do a competition every week. Me and Rob have already picked our free hit teams for the week. So it gives you guys an idea of the types of players and teams that we're going to be targeting for this week, and gives us some conversation to talk about for the review for each week. So that'd be good
And
fun.
we're making sure you pick it before we go live, so that
Yeah, it's already
we're
picked.
not so we're not spending half the episode with you finding a coin to toss.
Yeah. It's already picked. So we'll go through our teams. We'll explain why we like those players, and then basically whoever scores the most points between me and Rob wins, and we'll do that every week. And then we'll do a Q&A at the end. So if you've got any questions, leave them to the end. We'll tell you when to post your questions, and then we'll answer them for as long as there are people asking them. Right. Shall we go through our drafts first then, Rob?
Yep. Who's going first? Should we
Go
toss a
on, you can
coin?
go first. No, you can go. You can go.
So here we go. This is where I am currently at. I think Samikas is suddenly become like he's got the potential to become like one of the new FPL heroes for the start of this season, but it won't be for the whole season because when Robertson's back, he'll be back in the reserves.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think my back four is pretty template of TAA, Dean, Shaw, Samikas. Then
So you brought in Shaw now?
I've brought in Shaw. Well, with Samikas, I'm saving 0.5. So
Yeah.
I was able to upgrade. I've dropped a 0.5 somewhere and then upgraded, 4.5 up to Shaw. And then I've still got Gaeta and Sanchez as my two goalkeepers. Sanchez will be my keeper this week. My midfield, After you did suggest it on the pod this week, I have got Ben Rama in for now.
Nice.
Um, I mean, the value's there,
Can
but
I just say, look,
I could
just
easily
on
go.
Ben Rama, I've got something to say on Ben Rama, right? Because if you remember, Rob, and I'm sure you will remember, but I think it was episode 1 or episode 2, which is what, 4 weeks ago, when we were talking about players for the season and players to watch out for and hidden gems. I mentioned Ben Rama then, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
4
like
weeks
some.
ago.
Yeah, that was like he wasn't on our ones to watch, but
No,
like if we had a longer list, he probably would have been.
yeah, and no one was looking at him. And now suddenly the whole Twitter sphere is looking at him, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I called this 4 weeks ago.
It's
Now
you
it's
that
all on your
started it.
radar after preseason.
Didn't we? Someone say about this, like you can have an idea, you say your idea to someone, and
And
then
they'll
it
take it as their own.
snowballs, it snowballs, it snowballs, and now, yeah, well, it's half of Twitter. He's still only like 8% owned, isn't he?
Yeah, something like
So
that.
it's
Anyway, go
it's
on.
not it's not out of, I think it's like 5.5 million managers now. Yeah, 8% is not that many. It's probably the amount of people that listen to the pod. So anyways, I've got Ben Rama. Still captaining Mo Salah. I think, yeah, that EO. I think he's like 55% now. Bruno's some 50%. I think that it's dangerous to go Bruno. I'm very much
Yeah.
and always have been in the Brew yes camp. Um, but there's fixtures like even in the first sort of 5-6 game weeks, there's a couple of fixtures there you could easily captain him over Salah, and that's what I plan to do. I don't get the argument of if you've got this premium in and you're not captaining him, why have you got him in?
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd have had the same argument if it was Salah and Kane, or if you had Salah and
I've always thought that.
Vardy, and
I've always thought that.
like
I agree with you
points are
100%
points,
on that.
aren't they? At the end
Yeah,
of the
I agree
day,
with you on that.
I'd rather have, I'd, like you know that Salah's going to be the most captained, so you're not, you're still making the, like you're not losing anything by having Bruno there. And when
Yep.
over half, because I think he's 52% owned or something ridiculous. So if he's owned by 50% of the game and he goes off, you're fucked there as well. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not with this. Yeah, if you're not captaining him, you shouldn't be having him.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it doesn't sit with me.
For
And then
once we agree on something, Rob.
we're agreeing. And then
For once.
up top, I've got Ings, Antonio, who have been in my draft since last week, since Ings was signed, and then I've gone with Richarlison.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
There was a group chat that was my mini league group chat actually, and that he came up in conversation, and apparently he's been training and everything. I thought that because of quarantine that he wouldn't be able to, but he'd be in quarantine. But I'm guessing because he's come from from international duty at the Olympics where it's a controlled environment, he can just go straight back in. But I can't believe he's not taken like a couple of weeks
Any
off.
break?
The guy is
Yeah.
just like a machine. But he's on form as well. He picked up some goals in the Copa America, picked up goals in the Olympics, and yeah, maybe he's thinking, oh, if I take a couple of weeks off, I might lose that edge, and he can smash his way through the first part of the season, especially if DCL's struggling with this with his gammy toe. So yeah, Richarlison's in for now, unless I hear otherwise tomorrow. So he's the big question mark there. But I could always move him down to Tony, and then possibly move Gilmore or Harrison up. Give them a little upgrade. Move Harrison up to Rafinha or something like that. Then the bench: Veltman, Gilmore, Harrison in that order. At the moment, I'm not fancying Leeds at
Why
all
Harrison's third sub?
because I think Veltman will outscore Harrison. Simple as that.
Okay.
I don't fancy Leeds at all. touch wood. Yeah, I think that I'm excited about United this season, and I think Leeds will do well in other games, but I think it's going to be a sold out Old Trafford for the first time in 2 years, and it's the biggest rivalry. Like Liverpool, City, nothing. It's Leeds, and yeah, Old Trafford's going to be bouncing, and I'm wondering whether Leeds will be able to deal with that side of things. United will be well
Can
up
I
for it.
roast your draft now?
Pardon?
Can I roast your
Can you
draft now?
roast it? Go on then.
Yeah.
And you didn't roast it the other day, and now I've got Ben Rama
No.
in it.
Well, so the only thing that I don't like is that, in fact, it is the only thing that I don't like, is a 6 million midfielder on the bench. I feel like you've got too much on the bench.
6 million.
Like
You can
when
bench a 6 million midfielder.
I don't know. So when are you likely to bench? Are you likely to start Harrison
Okay,
in the next few weeks? Probably not, right?
yeah, but
When are
where
you likely to start him? You're not gonna. The only time that you might start him. Who have Leeds got in week 2? Game week 2.
game week 2 they got Everton, then they got Burnley. Burnley's the main one,
Okay, so game week 3.
and I'd probably start him
Okay.
against Everton. To be fair.
Okay, so then who are you going to bench?
What in game week
2 and 3.
2 and 3?
Yeah.
3, I'll probably bench Samikas.
Against Chelsea, yep.
Yeah. The
2
2 Ben Rama against Leicester.
against Leicester. Okay, fair enough.
That would probably be who I'd bench.
Okay,
And
fair
then
enough.
play Harrison instead of those two.
Okay.
Yeah. So I knew you don't like me benching Harrison. You've got a thing for
No,
little Jack.
I don't like I don't like benching. It doesn't even have to be Harrison.
I
It's
mean,
just like I don't like benching
6 million.
expensive players
6 million is not expensive though
for your bench. I think it is.
for a
I
midfielder
don't
on
know.
your
Let's
bench.
ask the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think a 6 million midfielder on the bench is
Like
expensive? I think it is.
if it was like I think for me it's like 7 and upwards is that's where you got to think if I'm going to be benching him, should I have him in my team? Yeah, it's once it's I think anything lower than that it's okay. Obviously, it depends on the position. Like I think for a forward 7.58 you could probably bench in the wrong week. Like if you had who's a 7.5 or an 8, well, any of those three up against Liverpool, like
Okay.
or City, you'd bench them, wouldn't you? And you wouldn't mind out of Ings, Antonio, Richarlison, if they were
No,
up
I probably
against
wouldn't.
a full strength
Probably
Liverpool
would.
defence,
No,
you'd
I
bench
probably
one of them.
wouldn't.
You
I
wouldn't
don't think I would. Don't think I would.
against a full strength Liverpool defence. So the Liverpool defence of 2 seasons ago.
No, I probably wouldn't. I don't think I would.
Or you'd look for another player that's got a better fixture, wouldn't you?
I don't know. I just got a thing. I don't know. I just got a thing about. You'll see my team in a minute. Like it's full of fodder
And
on the bench.
I think with that COVID is still around, you can't just go in with 3 like non-playing players.
No, I agree. But Veltman is playing. Gilmore is playing, and if you do a 4.5 midfielder or a 4 million. So my only thing is, what would you rather? Would you rather play Harrison instead of Ben Rama in game week 2, and Harrison instead of Tomiskas in game week 3, or have 1.5 million in the bank ready to move on to someone else if you need to? Me, I'd rather have 1.5. So I would rather have 1. Have a 4.5.
I'd rather 1.5 million sitting in the bank, not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. When you see my team, you'll see. I haven't got it at the moment, but I'm thinking about it.
I think that's an insane amount of money to just have sitting in the bank at the beginning of the season, unless you've
What's
got
the difference
planned.
between sitting on the bank than sitting on the bench? What's the difference? It's better. Surely it's better to be
Yeah,
sitting
but
in the bank than sitting on the bench.
no,
No. Okay.
no, and like you're not going to use a transfer in game week 2, surely. This is why I haven't got.
Uh,
This is why I haven't like gone with.
no, I'm not. I'm not going to be looking at doing the transfer in game week 2
Yeah, this is why I
at
haven't
the
gone with
moment.
a Chelsea player. Like I could easily get a Mount or a Verts in, but it's the game week 1 fixture, and then it's horrible. So like I just don't really fancy having a Chelsea player in from the start, because then I want to chat, unless Arsenal was shocking at the weekend, then I'd want to take my Chelsea player out to bring in someone else, and I'd rather go into game week 3 being able to go, right, who's disappointed me, he's going to go, and whoever else is going to go, and then Son comes in.
Okay.
Because that's when, yeah, that game week 3 is, yeah, Spurs have got Watford, Palace, so that would be Son or potentially even Harry Kane coming in, and either Salah or Bruno will be gone. Right,
All right. Let's look at mine then.
let's have a look at your team. Spent too long talking about Jack Harrison.
All right. So I've got Sanchez. No, this isn't my team. That's not my team.
Is that not your team?
No, I don't have Dean.
Oh,
That's my old team.
that's your old team. I must not have updated it. You had to tell us
Okay.
about your you had to tell us about your team then. So it's not
Okay.
it looks like this, but it's not this.
No, it's not this. So I have Sanchez, Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, and Tomiskas. So I no longer have Dean. The midfield I have is Benrahma, Fernandez, and Salah. I no longer have Jota. I have Mahrez at the moment. I have Ings, Tony, and Antonio. So most of it is the same. And on the bench, I've got Ben White, Amate, and Brownhill. So similar, but there's a couple of changes. So the main changes from this side to the other day is I've got Tomiskas instead of Dean and Mahrez instead of Jota. Now, that gives me no money in the bank. However, I am thinking about Gundogan from our discussion the other day. So I'm thinking of having Gundogan instead of Mahrez, and that's the one. So that Mahrez spot is the only spot that I'm unsure of at the moment. That Mahrez spot could be Barnes, could be Gundogan, could be Buendia. We don't. Did we hear any fitness news about Buendia? I don't know if we did. Did we?
I don't know. I didn't see anything.
So I'm happy to go with 1.5 in the bank because I'm happy with everything else in the side. I've got a first sub, playing first sub in Ben White. I've got Brownhill, who's also going to be playing, and then I'll have Amate, and he may not play because Vestergaard's going to come in. But I've got 2 playing subs, and that's enough. So why do I want to put 1.5 million extra in a player that I don't necessarily want? Or upgrading my defender, like I could have Dean instead of Ben White, but why do I want Dean as first sub?
Yeah, you wouldn't want that.
I don't want that. And I'd rather have Tomiskas instead of Dean starting. So yeah, I might go in the season with 1.5 if I end up going with Gundogan. So yeah, that's my side at the moment. Do you want to roast it?
I can't really see it to roast it.
Well, so it's what is there
Yeah.
apart from Tomiskas for Dean and Mahrez for Jota.
Okay, so you've got 3 Liverpool players. Well, you've got Williams. Why is Williams there?
Williams was. I've got Amate instead of Williams. So Williams was the.
Why is Amate there?
Brandon. Because he's a 4.0 defender. Bench fodder, not planning to play him.
Okay. Yeah,
Third
so
sub.
I was going to say, because Williams, it then blocks you from.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. So you got. Oh, it's Brandon Williams.
Yeah,
From
Brandon.
here, it looked like a Liverpool kit in the
Oh no, no,
picture,
no.
and I was like,
Yeah.
"Is that Nat Williams?" So it's Brandon Williams. Yeah. So why you got Williams? You're blocking. You're blocking
No, yeah,
Sancho.
he's not in there anymore. He's not in there anymore. It's
Just on a
Amate
wind up, mate. I want to
because
wind up.
because he was going to go to Norwich, wasn't he? And then he hasn't gone yet, so that's why I had him. But Amate's in there now.
Yeah, I'm
You're
gonna
struggling to roast it, aren't you? You
I'm
like
gonna
it.
contradict myself, but I'm not sure about the City players, but I'm gonna contradict myself now. Like I will
Okay.
very shortly contradict myself. So that's why I'm just gonna shut up. Right, what are we on
Who else
next?
should? Okay, wait, hang on. Before we go, right? Can you think of anyone else up to 9 million that I could have instead of Mahrez?
Havertz.
I wish I can find the extra million for Son, but I can't. There's
Havertz.
nowhere else in that side. Havertz. No, I don't like him. No, I don't like him.
Who else? Mount.
Mahrez is the best option. I don't like him either.
Morris is the best option. Everyone was like going on about
That
him,
I
and
can
then
think of up
see
to
how
9 million.
quiet he was the other day against Leicester.
I can't think of any. No, he wasn't quiet. He was taking a lot of shots. I can't think of anyone else. But anyway, okay, let's go on to the next feature. We've got our free hit drafts. So this is an opportunity for us to talk about the weekend's fixtures for game week 1. What the teams that we really like to look at. It's difficult to do it at the beginning of the season because I guess people at the beginning of the season we're planning for the next 4 to 6 game weeks, whereas when we go on a weekly basis, we'll be looking at the next week. So there'll be some picks here that you'll be like, oh, I don't fancy him for the first 6 game weeks, but actually we fancy him for this particular week. But it'll make more sense as the weeks go on rather than for the first week. But we thought we'd do it anyway. Right. Do you want to show yours then?
Let's go. There it is. That's where the magic happens. So
Oh, look, he's gone fucking Gundogan and Mahrez, you prick.
so yeah, I've decided to go. Salah. Let's start from the back. So Sanchez just at a 4.5. I fancy Brighton for a clean sheet. I actually at one point when going through and drafting this, I had Sanchez, Loughton, and me. Like I just think it will be like a 0-0 or 1-0. So I've gone with the 1-0 to Brighton. And yeah, put Sanchez in there. Samikas and TAA and Dean as my back three. I think if you're free hitting, like obviously the listeners, you're not free hitting, don't free hit. You can't free hit in week 1. But yeah, the way we're doing this, it makes sense to try and really attack game weeks and just go free at the back every week, because then you can have 3 and then have 2 4.0 defenders. So that's what I've done. Midfield, so I've gone Salah captain. I was tempted to maybe go somewhere else, maybe Vardy or Ings as my captain, but I've stuck with Salah. I've got Mahrez, Mount, and Gundogan. Then Vardy, Ings, and Che Adams. Going to take a little punt on Che Adams up front, and because I didn't have much more money to spend on anyone else, so he's the punty one. So I'm fairly happy with it. It's quite a bit. I was kind of in a rush to do it, so it was. I didn't think too much into it because I think otherwise I would have spent the whole evening chopping and changing and tinkering with it. I'm unsure about the City Spurs game, but I've got a feeling, and I'm going on Sunday, and I've got a feeling like City are going to blow them away a bit. I think they'll come out,
Okay.
especially after the disappointment last week. Because even though it's the Charity Shield to Pep, it's a trophy. Trophy's a trophy to Pep. So I've got a feeling that City are just going to blow them away. So that's my free hit team for game week 1. And I know that
So
if you win,
what
you'll fuck it up next week, so it's all right.
One Red 9 in the chat has a good point. He says doesn't make sense to have Dean and Adams against each other in a free hit side. Fair point.
Yeah, I didn't fancy Tony because he's an have six because Adams is 6.5, Tony 6.5, and then I could have gone Tony instead of Adams, but yeah.
Okay. Right, should we look at mine then?
So you've gone
I've gone
4-5-1.
4-5-1. Right, I've gone
It's
Schmeichel
2018 again.
I've gone Schmeichel in goal, Shaw, Dean, Alonso, because I think Alonso will play this weekend, and TAA. Salah, Fernandez, Benrahma, Maddison, Jota, and Ings. So basically, what I'm saying is, I think Liverpool will win, and Man United will do well. Aston Villa will score. Everton could keep a clean sheet, and I fancy Alonso for a 20-pointer.
If he plays.
I think he will play. I think he will play. Well, I don't think Chilwell is fit enough to come back, as he hasn't played pre-season. So yeah, I think this one's a winner. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you've won it.
I've got no City and Spurs.
This is where my brain today has just like frazzled.
Listen, I put this together in like 10 minutes.
I know you did because you only messaged you messaged me to tell it was done at like 22.
Yeah. And I said I'm starting it at past.
I've still got I've got a differential team to pick. I've got a anti-fantasy team to pick.
Fucking excuses.
I've got to sort the planner team out. We have to put them all in. We'll have to put them all in a league together with and see whether I can beat them all.
Right, guys, if you want to get your questions in, we'll start answering some of your questions. So just start putting them in. We'll go through just now. We'll go through the matches for the weekend and do some predictions. Whilst we do the predictions, you put in your questions and we'll get them answered straight away for you. Right, Brentford and Arsenal. What we're saying, Rob?
I'd like to say a Brentford win, but I think something like 2-1 or 3-1 Arsenal.
I think it'll be 1-1. I'm going 1-1.
I think what will be good is Brentford. They're playing it there, like for a lot of the fans, it's their first time in that stadium. I think that's one thing that is a big plus side for them. But I just got a feeling Arsenal might be too much for them. They've been a bit disappointing in pre-season, but I think just get their heads on and do the job. And 2-1, 3-1. That's what I'm going to go.
Okay, United Leeds.
6-1 United. I'd probably say 3-0, 3-1, 3-0. Yeah, 3-0 United.
I'm going to go for 2-1 United. Burnley and Brighton. I was about to say Burnham again.
0-0 with Brighton having an XG of 7.8.
I'm going to go 1-0 Burnley with Brighton having an XG of 8.8.
Or 1-0 Burnley, Brighton have an 8.8 XG and Burnley have like 0.1.
0.0, yeah. I'm going to go 1-0 here.
You carry on. I'm just looking for the questions. I'm just scrolling down the chat at the moment. So you carry on.
Cool. Chelsea and Palace.
4-0 Chelsea.
Oh, wow. I'm going 2-1 Chelsea. Do you really think they're going to smash them that much?
Yeah, I think it'll be comfortable. I honestly think it'll be comfortable. On the note of Chelsea, here's one from Felix. What are you guys thinking about Lukaku?
He'll be on my radar from game week 7 and not before.
Yeah, same for me. He's not going to play at the weekend. Like, he might be on the bench at the weekend and then come on for like 15, 20 minutes towards the end.
Has he officially signed now?
Yeah, he signed earlier this evening. 11.5.
Okay. Oh, 11.5. Okay. I haven't seen the news.
I think it was 11.5. But yeah, I can't see him starting. So why would I bring him in? Why would I spend 11.5 on someone I just don't think is going to start? And I think we get so much of it, like we've been talking about, the information at the start of the season, knowing that we've got 6 game weeks to watch him, and then we can go and bring him in around game week 6 if that's when your wild card is, knowing that Chelsea have got 6 or 7 weeks in a row where they've got great fixtures.
Okay. Everton versus Southampton. I'm going to go with 1-1 here again.
2-0. 2-0 Everton, although I've got Che Adams in my fucking free-hit team.
Leicester versus...
I'm here for the comedy, mate. That's all.
Yeah. I don't know why else here. Leicester versus Wolves. Definitely not for the FPL advice. Leicester Wolves. I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with that. 2-0 Leicester. I'd agree with that. Just having... So, chat's been busy, but there's not many... I'm just scanning for question marks.
There wasn't questions above because I told them to wait until the end.
Here we go. Ronald 9. Yeah, no one listens to you, mate. Ronald 9. Arsenal lose that, so I'm guessing Arsenal lose against Brentford. Is Arteta immediately under pressure? I'd say yes.
Yes.
Especially when he's just spent
to
lose against a promoted club and after
side,
just spending 50 million on a centre half. Yeah, you're under pressure, mate. He if they have a disappointing sort of first few games, he could be like gone before the second international break but gone before November. Wasn't that a song? Wasn't that Wycliffe Jean? Gone from November.
It rings a bell. I don't know. Should I try and look for it? No, we can't play it on air because we'll get wiped out from YouTube.
Yeah, they'll wipe us out, mate. What's the next fixture?
Watford Villa. 1-0 Villa.
Yeah, or 2-0 Villa. 1 or 2-0 Villa.
Okay.
Got
a question.
Got a question from Steve. Why is Tony a better 6.5 forward option than ASM? Tony is totally unproven.
ASM is I don't think he's proven either, to be fair.
I don't know.
Like
he's that when that Newcastle team, they have 2 quality players, and then Steve would then argue that there's one world-class player, and that's Joel Linton. But they got 2 quality players, and that's Callum Wilson and ASM. And like I think we said last week that if they were both fit for long periods of the season, then Newcastle would probably be safe this season. It's just whether they...
How many goals? All right,
fit.
without looking, how many goals did ASM score last season?
Not many, but he was injured He was injured
and
for
how many goals? And
20
how many
games.
goals did he score? And how many goals did he score the season before?
I don't know.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, but how many did he create? No, but
5 assists, 3 goals and 5 assists
with no striker.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The guy's a creator. Towards the end of last season, he was brilliant.
The problem is he can't stay fit.
That's the
That's like
thing.
saying Yarmole. That's
Yeah,
like
but
saying Yarmolenko's world
I'm not
class when
saying
we
if
know
you.
that Yarmolenko
Yeah,
can't
but
stay fit.
he's 6.5. Like you could you could you can happily buy him in and then move him out quite easily if he's injured. He's not like he's um like at a price where you can't then switch over to someone else if you're not feeling it. Like it's quite easy to move to someone else.
So you think ASM outscores Tony?
Could potentially. We don't know. We don't know what Brentford are going to be like. Like you could you could big them all up and everything, but yeah, teams have come up like done really well in the championship, and then got promoted like quite easily, and then gone straight back. West Brom, they finished well ahead of Leeds in the league. Leeds are comfortable, and West Brom straight back down, and then they'll probably come back up again.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just very wary about picking from a promoted team, although he was brilliant. And then if they did get relegated, he'd probably end up staying. If he does have a good season, he'd end up staying in the Premier League.
I don't think you can say that he's proven. That's like saying
No,
Fabio Silva is proven just because he scored 4 goals last season and St. Maximum scored 3. Like Steve said in the chat, oh, he's got more than Tony. Yeah, because Tony hasn't been in the Prem.
yeah,
But
but
that doesn't mean that doesn't just because he's played in the Prem. Yeah, ASM. Just because he's played in the Prem, it doesn't mean that he's proven in the Prem. He's
but
played in the Prem.
yeah,
There's a
but
difference.
no. What we're saying is that like ASM, if he stays free from injuries, and Callum Wilson stays free from injuries, those two could potentially be quite good value. Not like
Yeah,
they're
but
not gonna they're not gonna
if
tear
my
they're not
auntie,
gonna
that's like if my auntie had bollocks, it should be my uncle. Like you can't say
yeah, but
that.
they
That
could stay free from injuries.
yeah, but they're
You
not
don't
going
know.
to because they're
Yeah,
the
but you
type
don't
of
know.
players
You
that
don't know.
can't.
You don't know.
Okay.
But that's like saying no. You could say the same about Luke Shaw. The guy used to get injured all the time, and now he's owned by
I don't
55.
know. Let's
Like
see.
then he's owned by like almost 3 million people.
Even if ASM doesn't does not get injured this season or gets injured less, I still think Tony outscores him. Tony scored 34 goals in the championship last
In the
season. He's
championship.
not going to
In the championship.
he's not going to score less than 10 goals this season. Tony will score a
Oh
minimum of
yeah.
10 goals this season, 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'll bet you whatever you like. He will score at least 10 goals. He's not going to have a 70% less than what he
You're
scored in
gonna
the
put
championship.
you're putting the curse on him, mate. You say all these things during the Euros, and players were getting injured, and you like Captain Spinazzola, and he goes and tears his tears his
Let's
Achilles. It's
see.
like,
Let's
yeah.
see.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying Tony isn't gonna, but to then just to write off Saint Maximin over Tony, I think is a little short-sighted because we've seen Saint Maximin perform well in games. For game week 1 last season, he was running at your defence and he could have had 2 or 3 goals. I
Yeah.
think he got 1, didn't he,
I'm
and
not
an
saying
assist.
I'm
I
not
think he got
saying
a
he's
goal
not a
and an
bad player.
assist.
I'm not saying he's not a bad player. He's a good player and I do like him, but I don't think you can say he's proven in the Prem, is my point.
I
And
think
Steve's just
against
said now in the chat, I haven't said he's proven at all. Like,
no,
yeah, okay,
but
fine.
it's like you can't write him off though, because the guy, yeah, he does get injured. Um, yeah, like if he doesn't get injured and the players around him don't get injured, then yeah, why can't he go and get? Yeah, he might not get like 10 goals and um, a load of. Well, he might get like 6 or 7 goals and a shitload of assists. He might go and like Callum Wilson might have a 15 to 20 goal season, and Saint Maximin gets like 10 assists. And then
don't know.
it
Either way, I
balances
think
out a
Tony
little bit.
outscores him. Either way, I think Tony outscores him in points.
But
and goals.
both of them you wouldn't own for the whole season anyway.
No, agreed.
So you'd chop and change. So there might be a time when Tony isn't the best option, and St. Maximin's a better option than he is. So then you'd switch over if you fancied it. And it's like,
anyway, let's move on. What's the next?
I don't think either of them are a great option for game week 1. To be fair, I'll give West Ham some credit.
What's the next question, or are we doing another prediction?
Next question. Oh God.
Actually, let's do another prediction.
Yeah, while I'm looking.
West Ham.
Newcastle,
West Ham. Well, I want to go to that one first. I predict a 3-1 Newcastle win and St. Maximum to get injured.
Is this after he scored a hat-trick, though?
No, seriously, I'm going with 3-1 West Ham.
I'm going to go 2-1. 2-0 West Ham.
We missed Liverpool, Norwich.
Liverpool, Norwich. I think 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be more. It depends what sort of Liverpool we see coming out.
And let's do the final prediction, and then we can just focus on questions. Is Tottenham and City?
I'd love to say 1-0 Spurs, but I think it's going to be... I think it could be 2 or 3 to City.
I'm going 1-1.
I really worry about Spurs. Yeah, it all seems very disjointed, and there seems to be a lot of unrest and a lot of negativity towards the coach that's never coached him in a competitive game. But I'm sure that the atmosphere on Sunday will be great, and that's why I'm going. The atmosphere will be great. I'm sure that I think that will be the important thing, to be how the fans on the day react, and I think they'll play a big part in the game. There's still like rumours of Kane being on the bench on Sunday.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which I think him being on the bench will be a big lift for the fans as well. I think it's a big positive, because it means that the wheels are turning and things are happening to try and keep him at the club. I'd probably be leaning now at the moment towards, because it's kind of gone quiet from City's end. I'm leaning towards sort of a 70-30 on Kane to stay at Spurs. I think it would have got done, and we'd have seen a lot more sort of news in the last week. But it seems to have quietened down a little bit, so we shall see, I think. Right,
let's get some of these questions then.
Right.
So what was the last one? Was the first one, is it from Glasto, best 6.5 midfielder that's not Rafinha? Is that the first one, or is there some before
that? Best 6.5 mid, not from Leeds. That's a good question. Let me have a look.
I'm going to give you one option that's 6.5 and one option that's 6. And that's Buendia for 6.5 and Ben Rama to save you 0.5. Genuinely think Ben Rama will be the best 6.5 and under option this season. Maybe even more so than Rafinha.
Best 6.5. 6.5 mid, not from Leeds. Bowen?
I prefer Ben Rama.
If Bowen's playing that role that Lingard was playing.
No, Ben Rama's playing that role.
So Ben Rama's going in there.
He's been playing in the 10.
And Bowen's been playing wide?
On the right. Yeah, so Yarmolenko played, I think, 70 minutes on the weekend, and then Bowen came on for the last 20 because Bowen had a little knock. But I imagine Bowen will play on the right. And I think Fornals will play on the left, and Ben Rama's playing in the 10.
If not, if either of them, then for this week and this week only, McSauce against Leeds.
McTominay,
Yeah.
really?
2 goals and
You
assists
joker.
last season in this fixture, mate.
You joker. Right, what's the next question?
Bonnerid 9. Does OGS have to win a trophy to keep his job at the end of the season? He's gone under the radar a bit much. But how much United are nearly men? People were all over Poch for this when it's first. He's not gone under the radar. Fucking everyone's all over him. After the Europa League final, the amount of abuse that man got on social media from fans of the club and from other fans, he's not. I don't think he's like looked over and under the radar. Like every time we lose a game, everyone calls him fucking what's it? School teacher, PE teacher. That's what they call OGS. It's just a PE teacher. But I think if he doesn't deliver a trophy this season,
He'll be under pressure.
or I think he can afford to not win a trophy if United are still in the title race in the last day. Because I think then that's a move. That's a giant leap forward. If they're still within 3 points of first place in game week 38, then I think that's enough.
Interesting.
Because then it's enough to, and I'd be buzzing. I'd be really happy with that. Like knowing that we're then at that level, we just need a top striker to come in, like hoping we're going to get a DM, and then the top striker will be that final piece, and that will be a Mr. Haaland, I reckon, because he's not gone to City. I think it'll be Haaland.
I don't think so.
I honestly think it will be, and they'll pay him. They'll give him 500 grand a week because that's all it's going to take. It's wages because it's only going to be 70 million because of his buyout clause.
Clause, yeah. I think you missed some questions above, Rob.
Do you reckon
Above,
Watkins will start this weekend?
No, above that. So we've got.
Well, do you reckon Watkins will start this weekend?
Do I think? Oh, I don't know.
I think that's one. The press conference must be early tomorrow. So yeah, it's one to keep an eye on. I think.
So
from Fantasy Connection, Joelinton v Pookie. What was this? 6 million strikers. Would you go with Pookie and wing it with tough fixtures, or Joelinton based on a fixture run? Left field theory, I know.
I'd go with neither. I'd spend 0.5 more. I'd spend 0.5 more
and go for ASM.
Go for ASM, yeah.
Right, next down. One player. Who is the one player you want in your team but can't justify it? Mine is Dele Alli.
Mine is Son.
Well, but that's not mine. That was Andrew Tavies asked the question. His is Dele Alli. Son is probably my one as well. I can't justify putting him in my team playing against the champions. Simple as that. Whether he's playing as a number 9 or not. I can't justify it.
Ronald also asked a bit earlier, who's the first manager to go?
Arteta.
I'm going to say Patrick Vieira.
Or Vieira's the favourites of the bookies.
Oh, is he? Okay.
I think he's 4-1 of the bookies to go. It won't be his fault. Will Palace spent any money? They've bought in a few freebies, haven't they?
They have spent a fair bit of money, haven't they?
Not much. Not like they bought. Who did they buy in? Gueye or whatever his name is. He came in. Who else came in? They let like 15 first team players go.
Yeah, that's true. I can't remember who they bought, to be fair. Who's in the FPL? Let's have a look. Who they bought? Palace. Palace.
Um,
So they have bought.
Who's at risk when Castagna is back? Bertrand or Pereira? Neither. Pereira will just move up. Rogers likes playing him as a midfielder, doesn't he? Or Castagna. Didn't end of last season, Pereira played as a right back and Castagna played as the right mid for large parts of games when they were
I think
both
so.
fit. Yeah, because everyone thought it was going to be Pereira, and it turned out to be Castagna playing further up. So yeah, I don't think. And Bertrand plays the other side, doesn't he? So I think he'll stick with Castagna and Pereira both on the right, and like leave Bertrand deeper so that and to give Barnes that space on the left.
Vonerid goes. Suchek will outscore Ben Rama. No, not happening.
All tools just need to get a bit closer. Oh, he's talking about OGS. OGS gets far too much criticism, doesn't get enough credit for what he's done. I agree there. Thanks, Andrew. With Alf Ingy, I doubt Erling will sign for Man United. It's like a bloody old wives' tale, this thing is. Roy Keane did not end Alf Ingy Haaland's career. He played like the week after for Norway. Like, yeah, they don't like each other, obviously, but it's nothing to do with that. Like, at the end of the day, if Erling Haaland wants to go and play for Man United and earn £500,000 a week, he will go and play for Man United. If he'll go to a club that he'll be starting every single game, and there was talk of him going to Chelsea, and that obviously didn't happen. So he's not going to Chelsea because they're not going to have Lukaku and Haaland, are they? City could be the one, but then well, whether someone then goes back in for Kane, if Spurs have another disappointing season, he got to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's too late. Like it'll just be the ship would have sailed, and it'd be too late for him to get that move to a club where he can score goals and win trophies. Steve Bird, Joel Linton won't get a game at Gateshead. Oh, we changed the tune, Steve. There we Fantasy Connection. Anderson, Guehi, and Elise. That's the signings they've made.
It's decent, to be fair.
It's good, but consider they've got no depth in the squad. Like if they have a few injuries, then you could see them struggling a little bit. I think in one of my predictors, I think I've got Palace in my bottom three to go back down. I think Brentford to stay up, Watford, Norwich, and Palace to go down.
Interesting.
I think it would be Watford and Norwich +1. I think just that strength and depth. I think for Palace, I think Burnley will be down there. Brighton could end up down there if they don't sort of work out how to put the ball in the net. Newcastle could end up down there.
United can end up down there.
We're not going down there, mate. No. West Ham could end up down there.
Right. Is there any more questions? I think that's it, isn't it?
Castagna also played centre back at times, right? He did. It'd be interesting to see. It's talk of Vestergaard going to Leicester, isn't there?
I think that's confirmed, pretty much.
Has it been confirmed?
I don't know if it's 100% confirmed.
He'll obviously he won't. He's not in many FPL teams anyway, but he probably won't play on Saturday. Although with Leicester do need a centre half to come in, but they might stick with who started on Saturday at centre back for them.
Soyuncu and did Ndidi play centre back? Oh no, Amate.
It's Amate. So Rodgers might decide that that was a good enough performance, stay in there, and then Vestergaard come in, and then they've got that ability. Then they can switch to a free if they want to, because he likes to switch between the 4 and the 3, doesn't he? So we shall see. Flying Dutchman, Man City preparing a new bid of 150 million euros as per FR. Who's FR? Oh, Fabrizio Romano. I reckon they'll get him before the transfer window ends. It will be interesting to see. Yeah, I think a lot of the big signings that's done now. I think with Kane, he'll either sign a contract this week or a new contract this week, or that'll be the thing. And the new contract, it'll probably be a tiny bit more money. It will literally put a clause in to say, if we don't win a trophy this year and a club comes in with 150 million, you can go. It'll be similar to what Grealish had in with that 100 million buyout clause. It'll be similar to that. It gives Spurs an extra season, doesn't it? Because they need to get back into Europe, and they need Harry Kane to get them back in. Europe is in the Champions League, and they need Harry Kane there to do that. And they need Harry Kane to win the Europa Conference League as well, don't they? Well, they can make history then. They can be the first winners of the Europa Conference League.
Right, we got any housekeeping before we fuck off?
No. Mini league. For those that haven't joined the mini league, this is the correct code that is on the screen. It has always been the correct code on the screen, but a couple of podcast episodes had the incorrect code in the description, which caused me a bit of stress with my mini league, having to suspend people from it. So yeah, if you code, maybe try again just to double check. If you're wanting to enter it in and not click it in anywhere, the code is 1PQSLT, and the prize for the winner will be a jersey of their choice.
For the 21-22 season.
For the 20. So when they release all the kits out, you can tell us what one you want, and then Sham will buy it for you.
Yeah. Because we don't want someone going, yes, I want the 1986 Argentina top, which is like 700 quid or something like that.
No, you've got retro sites 21. That do stuff like that for like 30 quid. You should say we'll get you any retro shirt, because you can get them from like a retro site for like 50 quid.
But imagine if someone picks one for like 500 quid and we can't find it anywhere else cheaper. That's why I specifically said the 21-22 season.
Within reason. Like someone said they wanted a retro shirt and we could find it for like the same price.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
and more time often than not, you can find a retro shirt for an 86 Argentina shirt for £700. Is it worn by Maradona?
No, I'm jesting. I'm jesting.
It's still got like Coke particles down the side of it. That's why it costs 700 quid. You get Coke taken from Maradona's nose.
Right. When anyway, next
Roderick 9. Is there a prize? Is there a prize? I maxed out for. There's the prize. Yeah. Oh, you've answered. Yes, and then next pod will be recorded on Monday night, out for Tuesday. Yes. So that'll be back to normal, and then I don't even know when the deadline is next week. Whether it's a Friday or Saturday.
The deadline next week is on Saturday.
It's a Saturday deadline. Oh my word.
Yep. 12:30 deadline.
A Saturday 12:30 deadline. So we'll be back for some Friday night madness then on the Last Order show.
Oh no, I won't be here on the Friday, will I? Because I'm away.
Yeah, you're away. So I'll be joined by
Thursday.
Or James. It'll be Thursday.
Thursday or James, whichever one.
Let's do. We'll see how it goes.
If James can do Friday, then can do Friday. If not, we can do Thursday. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. So that's about it.
Cool. Right. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. You can find us on Twitter at FPL_Happy Hour. We're also on all our normal podcasts, etc. Spotify, Apple Music, all of that jazz, and our YouTube channel, which hopefully you are watching now, FPL Happy Hour. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and all your retweets on Twitter are appreciated. So have a great game week, number one, and hope you lock in your sides very well.
Don't lock in
And
your sides very well. What is
what else
this?
am I supposed to say?
Just good
To
luck.
the best of your ability. Good luck. Enjoy. And
It's
ready
like
for the.
rousing speech.
Come on. Do you want a motivational speech?
It's just like
Should I give a
just
motivational speech to end the
Robert.
pod?
Well, it's not Robert. Who was it? Al Pacino, inch by inch speech.
Okay, I'm going to give a motivational speech.
Oh God,
right,
here we go.
Ready for it? Right, guys. Right, this is off the cuff. Okay, so guys, you can do it. You can lock in your teams well. You can work hard. Do your research, listen to those podcasts, watch those stats, understand those teams, understand those players. You can do it. I've got faith in you to deliver and great game week number one score and smash it. Go and do it. Yeah.
If not, join us for a proper drink next week.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Right,
guys.
I'll
Good
speak
night.
to you later. Bye.